Hello from Manchester Airport with aircraft taxiing out to the runway just behind me. If you'd like to join me, I'm heading out on a British Airways flight on a BA A320. Just a short flight today. It's down to London Heathrow. Many of us would normally hop on a train or perhaps drive for a short journey. Today I'm doing something just a little bit different. We're jumping on the plane for a very short domestic flight. So let's see what it's like.
Traveling the world on planes, trains, trams, and more. Join Mark Hopwood as he shows you some of the great journeys he's made. Travel with him as he takes you to a whole variety of destinations. And just remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and give Mark your comments on this video.
British Airways depart from Terminal 3 at Manchester. Security here at the airport was pretty horrible, if I'm frank. No fast track, quite a lot of queues, a lot of people not knowing what they're doing, staff not a great deal of help, but I was able to get through and check the departure board for the only British Airways flight of the evening, the 2025, the BA 1407, up to London Heathrow. I headed off to the Escape Lounge and had a look at the selection of food, the snacks, the drinks. Not too bad, but not the biggest selection in the world. Pastas, hot food of a very small variety. One soup, bread rolls of course, and then a selection of hot and cold drinks, a bar, but most of the drinks were self-service from the fridges. A nice selection of freshly baked muffins there on the counter, and that was my selection. Actually tasted slightly better, excuse me, than it looked. But the great thing here is the views out over the apron. So 2 or 3 Ryanair 737s parked up in front. Of course, they don't stay around for very long, and it was great to be able to sit in a relatively empty lounge and enjoy looking at the aircraft as they taxied to the runway, which you get a good view of the start of the takeoff run. And here we see an Ethiopian Airlines Dreamliner, a Boeing 787, just powering up and heading off down the runway for its relatively short flight to Geneva, where it stops en route to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. Hey, that would make a great video sometime, doing the Manchester to Geneva leg. I'll have to investigate that.
One thing I've started working here about 8 days ago, and one thing about me is I've heard about 15 drivers.
And as the sun started to set over Manchester Airport, my British Airways A320 arrived from London Heathrow, just coming in here on finals to Manchester. Glad to see the plane, glad the delay wasn't as bad as we'd first feared. And as the plane touched down on the runway, it was time to gather my belongings in the lounge and make my way slowly down to our departure gate. So as I review this flight, before I've even got on board, it's been a pretty poor experience. The gate 143 doesn't actually have any seating area. It's effectively just a door off a corridor. You can sit in the main departure lounge and keep an eye on the screens, but you've got to walk to the gate. And then as boarding commenced on this flight, after a bit of a hashtag boarding, no boarding period where we were gathered in the gate lobby with no air conditioning, we had to keep going down all the stairs because the pier which would normally collect the terminal to the aircraft was not operating. It wouldn't work, so the aircraft parked a distance back, and as you can see here, a set of stairs was set up. Not a big problem, but this is British Airways. It proclaims to be one of the world's leading international airlines. Manchester's a big international airport, and the gate doesn't work, and we're climbing up a set of steps. Personally, I much prefer that. It's a much better experience, but that's what happened here. So onto this Airbus A320 and to take my seat, luckily in row number 1.
I'm your first officer this evening. With me on the flight, captain of the flight is James O'Brien, and looking after your safety and comfort in the cabin, Joanna, James, Georgia, and Elia, all led by the senior cast member Lee Best. Well, apologies, we are late. We are running about 20 minutes behind schedule. That's due to loading issues in London Heathrow. There were some passengers that were no-shows. They missed their flight, and their bags had to be removed from the cargo hold. That took longer than usual. We left about 40 minutes late. We managed to make up some time. Flying very fast and having great turnaround here as well. Not a very busy flight here. Here we are, as I said, 20 minutes behind schedule at the moment. Just waiting for the steps to be moved away from the airplane, and then we'll be ready for pushback. Once we do get going, quite a short taxi, departing in the southeasterly direction, southwesterly direction, and then turning left southeasterly way towards London Heathrow, runway 23 right, which is runway 1 here in Manchester, climbing up to 19,000 feet as usual, with a flight time of just about 35 minutes to London. It was smooth on the way up, so expecting smooth flying conditions down as well. But just for your safety, if you are seated here at British Airways, we always recommend to keep your seatbelts fastened at all times anyway, just in case we encounter any unexpected turnarounds. That's all for now, as I said, on the way hopefully in the next couple of minutes. In the meantime, make yourself comfortable, enjoy the flight. Thank you.
Once on the aircraft and airborne, things improved. In club class we had a great little evening meal, a chicken and egg salad, bread roll, a nice dessert, all served with drinks and cleared up and ready to get off the plane in a lot less than 35 minutes. But some fantastic views out of the window.
And have lowered the blinds, please return this to the open position for landing. You may continue to use handheld electronic devices for landing. These must be held securely or placed into a pocket. Larger items, including laptops, must now be switched off and stowed away safely. Please also take a moment to remind yourself of your nearest exit and study the safety card in your seat area. In the event of an emergency, leave all hand baggage behind. We will be adjusting the cabin lighting for landing. If you'd like additional light, please use the button in your seat area. Thank you.
Some great views over London with a little bit of cloud cover, but not much, as we descended over northwest London, out over East London,
Would the cabin crew now take their seats for landing?
And turning, of course, as you always do, to approach runway 27 right from the central London direction, passing over the River Thames once or twice during those manoeuvres, and a really fast flight, no holding, straight through the air traffic control constraints, through the cloud, and then onto the approach for London Heathrow. Once clear of runway 27 right, very short taxi onto one of the A gates at Terminal 5. Not far at all. So overall, pretty poor experience at Manchester Airport. Great experience on board with a great crew. Some fantastic food for what was a terribly short flight. Some very good work by the flight deck crew to recover that delay on the outbound journey from Heathrow to get the aircraft through quickly, turn round quickly at Manchester, and then excellent work with air traffic control, no delays, no holding, and we pulled onto that stand at Heathrow, as I say, in just 34 minutes. So from there I had no hold baggage, so as soon as they let us off the plane I was able to head straight off. And that was the British Airways flight from Manchester. I hope you've enjoyed the experience. I headed straight out through the domestic arrivals, really straightforward at Heathrow, straight to the arrivals hall. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do press the like button, do subscribe to my channel, and do press yes for notifications. I'll leave you here in Terminal 5 arrivals, and I'll see you on my next video.